Mirra Andreeva continues to amaze me and prove my predictions wrong time after time as she toppled world number one Aryna Sabalenka 2-6, 6-4, 6-3 to win her maiden Indian Wells title. This is Mirra's second straight WTA 1000 title after she won Dubai, extending her win streak to 12 in a row. I'll break down Mirra's miraculous triumph, talk about where it all went wrong for Sabalenka, and address some weird hate being dished out to Coco Gauff amidst all this. Hey, I'm Christian Bass Knight and welcome to Christian's Court, where I cover tennis from all angles. If you have not yet already, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you are notified whenever I post my Indian Wells men's final recap analysis and my Miami Open draw preview. So Sabalenka came to this match, of course, with a head-to-head advantage. She was 4-1 against Mirra before this one, and she beat Mirra twice already this year alone, both times coming in Australia, and she dropped 5 games in the Brisbane semifinal and just 3 games in the Australian Open fourth round encounter. Sabalenka's power and her willingness to move forward was a major asset to her in their previous matches, and the start of this final was no different. Aryna was in control of a lot of the baseline exchanges in the opening set, and this kept Mirra from effectively changing direction up the line as she often loves to do. But aside from Sabalenka's power and net prowess, Aryna's biggest advantage in this matchup with Mirra was just the mental battle. In Andreeva's 2 earlier meetings with Sabalenka this year, she was a combined 0 for 11 on breakpoint opportunities, and at 1-all in the first set, Mirra had 4 breakpoints but was unable to convert, and after Sabalenka held to go up 2-1, she then broke immediately at love in the following game, and she cruised on serve for the remainder of this opening set. You just cannot underestimate the importance of the scoreboard pressure in these matches. Andreeva was mentally kind of shot in the opening set after she failed to convert her chances in that 1-all game, and she really never settled it in the opening set after missing out on those chances. Meanwhile, digging out of that game only helped Sabalenka settle in even more, and she played a phenomenal first set. She employed a great blend of power and variety with the drop shots and slices herself, and then again she was very successful whenever she ventured forward on her own terms. Aryna had 9 winners to 8 unforced errors in the opening set compared to Mirra's 6 winners to 7 unforced. More notable though is the serving numbers, as Aryna won 72% of her first serve points and 60% of her second serve points. She hit her spots very well on her faster serves too, and then she also was able to have a lot of success due to her higher bouncing kick serves, which were even more effective for these conditions that the balls did bounce higher in the altitude of Indian Wells. Mirra, however, she struggled on serve in this first set, only winning 57% of her first serve points and 36% of her second serve points. In the second set, though, Mirra made a clear conscious effort to be more aggressive, especially on her return, and it paid off. She had 3 break points out the gate to start off the second set, but once again, she was unable to convert. And I thought that after she was unable to break in this first game of the second set, that would just be the nail in the coffin for Andreeva, and that she would mentally crumble from that point forward. But she has talked about how hiring a mental psychologist during the Australian Open and right before the Australian Open has made a big difference, and the effects of that hire were very clear in this match. Mirra not only held serve comfortably that following game, but then she broke Sabalenka's serve thereafter after being 0 and 18 in breakpoint opportunities in 2025 against the world number 1. This break was of course massive for Andreeva, but I think just as important was that 2-3 game in the second set where Sabalenka had a break point and she looked in good position to win this point and break, but Andreeva came up with an incredible shot to get out of trouble, and she ultimately held. Sabalenka held for the remainder of the second set, but so did Mirra, and that was thanks to her getting a lot more free and easy points from her bigger first serve. Andreeva was also more effective with the drop shots in the second set, and she used them at more timely points. She wasn't kind of just using it as a bailout shot. She was able to kind of catch Sabalenka off guard, and I feel like in the second set, she won practically all of the points whenever she employed that drop shot. She was very, very effective on that end. Overall, Andreeva was the one who was forcing the matter more in the second set, and she was the more aggressive of the two, I feel. She hit 17 winners to just 7 unforced errors, which is a phenomenal set from her. Meanwhile, Sabalenka made just 7 winners, which is not enough for her at all. Perhaps more notable is the service statistics, as Andreeva drastically improved her first serve percentage to 80%, which made a big difference as she won 75% of her first serve points in the second set and 67% of her second serve points. Meanwhile, Big Lenka's first serve percentage percentage dropped by 10 percentage points, which is why she struggled considerably more to hold serve in set number 2. Aryna was conscious of this because she took some MPHs off her first serve for the deciding set, and that brought her first serve percentage up to 63% for the third set, but she was nowhere near as successful with first serve points won as she was in the first set. Sabalenka was broken right off the bat in the deciding set at love, and it was just really a sloppy game from the top seed. But that was not the final turning point of the match, as Sabalenka broke right back the following game after saving a couple of break points. And I thought that after she broke back here, the momentum would shift completely in her favor. But then Sabalenka got broken again right after that with just some sloppy play. And Aryna's footwork and balance were very off in this third set, and she kept pulling up on her shots and all. Just wasn't good tennis at all from Aryna, and Mirra just remained steady and took the mantle as she should have and rode clear to victory. Honestly, I was very entertained by this match for most of it. I say for about 75% of it. I think the second set was definitely the best set out of them all, and I thought it could be a match of the year contender for sure, but the third set just did not deliver at all. Sabalenka played pretty bad in this deciding set. Aryna has some interesting comments in her press conference after the match when asked if there was a notable difference between Mirra's form today that compared to when she last played Andreeva at the Australian Open.
I don't know. I don't really feel any changes. Maybe she's but once again, I'll let her do that. Maybe she was serving a little bit better in the second set, and yeah, she was holding her serve much better. But once again, I think it was totally me against me, and I just let her play the way she played at the end of the match. I mean, I made a lot of unforced errors on important points, and I just let her play a little bit better. But at the beginning, everything was going quite straightforward, and then I just made a couple of mistakes, and she kind of like believed in herself, and after that I started playing much worse, and I was just trying to find my rhythm back, but didn't work this time. Australian Open, I played so bad. I played like it was a joke, honestly, my level of the game. Today I think I just kind of like dropped my level in a couple important games in the second set and then in the third set. So overall it was a great tennis. It's just like a couple moments where I have to improve.
Definitely some interesting thoughts there from Sabalenka. I don't know why she keeps saying she played so bad at the Australian Open final. Yes, she didn't play her best, but she's acting like she played the worst match of her life in that final. I think that she played fine in the deciding set. She played good in the deciding set. She did not play good in the first set at all in that Australian Open final, but Maddie was just better in the end. But focusing on this Andreeva Indian Wells match, again, I don't think she played good at all in the third set. And this was kind of reminiscent of the 2023 US Open final. She won the first set 6-2 like she did against Andreeva, but then had a tougher second set which she lost, and then her form dipped drastically in the final set. That's exactly what happened here. I'm wondering if Sabalenka develops a finals mental block similar to how Iga apparently has a semifinal mental block, because now this is 2 consecutive finals that she has lost at a high level, both coming in 3 sets. I'm wondering the next time she's in a final if she'll start to think about this and if it's more mental scar tissue for her. And right now her 2025 season is shaping up to be a lot like Serena's 2016 season, where Williams also finished runner-up at the Australian Open and Indian Wells. But if Aryna's season does exactly mirror Serena's, that means that she'll be guaranteed to walk away with a Wimbledon title. So I don't know, maybe she'll be happy with this in the end. I did find Aryna's comments about Mirra and her form, and how Sabalenka said that her form really wasn't that different. It was more about me. I don't fully agree with that, because I definitely have noticed some improvements with Mirra. She's undoubtedly serving better and is hitting with more purpose, and her confidence is higher. Maybe Sabalenka, she does have somewhat of a point, because with the Sabalenka Andreeva matchup, I feel like it always just came down to confidence and Mirra actually breaking serve. I think that could have been the biggest difference. And I'm not saying that Mirra would have won those matches, but they would have been a lot more competitive if Andreeva was more opportunistic whenever she had breakpoint chances. I think that was perhaps the most important thing, because if Mirra continued to not be as advantageous with her breakpoint chances, then she would have been dusted in straight sets yet again today. Now, Mirra said that she was nervous throughout this entire match, and I honestly could see that, to be honest. I could see that she was nervous even up until the third set, but she didn't play like it. She visibly looked it, but she didn't play like it, which is incredible. And still, her being able to battle past those nerves and emotions is huge, and that just shows her maturity. Again, she's only 17 years old, and sometimes she does show her age with some of her on-court outbursts, but still, being able to get the job done in the end and put all that behind her and play good tennis is astounding. Again, she's proved me wrong so many times this week in terms of predictions, but even though I had Sabalenka winning this match in my previous video, I'm not surprised Mirra won this. And I said in my last video that if Sabalenka didn't win this in straight set, she was going to be in big trouble, because I sensed that at some point Sabalenka would go off the rails like she ultimately did in the third set. And I also said that Mirra was far more battle tested than Sabalenka had been recently, as she had that tough match, semifinal match against Iga in the semifinals. Meanwhile, Sabalenka hadn't dropped a set leading up into this final. So I think that Andreeva just knew how to handle the tough pressure moments in the third set better, and that's ultimately why she won this match. Mirra is the third youngest player to win Indian Wells, after Martina Hingis and Serena Williams, both of whom were 17 when they won this title for the first time. And the last time a team won Indian Wells, they won the US Open, and that was Bianca Andreescu. I can for sure see Mirra winning a slam this season at some point. It can be at any of the 3 remaining slams too. And she said in her post-match press conference that she doesn't have a favorite surface. All 3 surfaces, she said, are her favorite. And that's really legit. She can thrive on any surface for real. And that's the mark of someone who's going to be a great player for real. And I think she's going to walk away for sure with multiple slams, at least 5. Focusing on the present though, I feel like Mirra needs to definitely take a long break after Miami and not come back until Madrid. I'm saying this because I'm worried that she might get injured like how Andreescu did when she won Indian Wells back in 2019. She's been playing a lot of tennis, of course Dubai, and then now here, and with her shoulder strapped up and everything. I just hope that her team and ultimately Mirra, they make the right decision. And honestly, I wouldn't be mad if she I wouldn't say tanked, but didn't go all out in Miami, but I know that's not going to happen. So we'll just have to wait and see how she does in the 305. But right now, Andreeva is up to a career high of number 6 in the world. The question is, where will she be by the end of this year? I think top 5 for sure is in the realm of possibility, undoubtedly, but maybe top 3 or even, I don't know, world number 1. World number 1 is going to be a stretch, but honestly, why not? Mirra has proved me wrong so many times. I did not expect her to even make it to the 4th round at Indian Wells, and she won the whole thing after winning Dubai. So I at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if she did end the year number 1. Now, shifting gears a little bit, there was recently a viral tweet from a mutual of mine on Twitter that said, Mirra Andreeva is what we were told Coco Gauff was going to be. And this tweet got over 4,000 likes, so obviously a lot of people agree with this. And I've seen similar sentiments in my own comments about people bringing up Coco whenever I talk about Mirra. People's obsession with Coco is kind of crazy, and it's really annoying, because if we're going to compare, I don't believe we should be comparing like this, but if we are going to use comparisons, they could have used a bunch of names like Raducanu or Andreescu. Andreescu would have been more fitting for this one, but instead people are just ragging on Coco. They just love to use her as a punching bag, and it's crazy because you would have thought Coco is washed, but she's world number 3. She's won a slam already, and she just turned 21 years old. I know people are like, oh, stop using the age excuse with Coco, but it's a fact. She still has so many years ahead of her. Mirra is a phenomenal generational talent, and she's had an incredible last few months, but there are going to be a lot of ups and downs in her career. And right now it's a big high. And after a while, more players are going to figure her out a little bit more. And she's probably going to lose to some lower ranked players within the next few months. I don't know. It is natural to have ups and downs in tennis, but people love to get all wet and excited way too early, whether it's with hyping a player or thrashing them and calling them washed after a few subpar results. Yes, Mirra had more success than Coco did at age 17, and she very well might have a more successful career overall than Gauff does. But so what? People act like it's a problem to give more than one player decent attention. I've also seen some tweets dogging Joao Fonseca, saying that Mirra is younger and she deserves all his hype. I say all this to say we can big up one player without tearing down another. That's all I gotta say. That's all I have for this video. Let me know your thoughts on the final and whether you think that Mirra will finish top 3 by the year's end, and whether you think that Sabalenka has kind of developed or is developing a finals block, a mental finals block now after this loss. Do you think that she will be able to recover in time for Miami and the clay season, or if this might continue to build on each other, these losses and these finals? Again, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you are notified whenever I post my upcoming videos. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support, and I'll see you all next time here on Christian's Court.